I got the LR Baggs Anthem system from our good friends at Sweetwater, and I'm gonna put it in. I'm putting it in my J-45. It's a 1969 J-45, and it's one that removed the bridge. It's one that had the adjustable height bridge, but a good friend of mine named Joe made this fancy bridge that's just, I'm not left-handed, just goes right in there. Nice bone bridge sandwiched between some rosewood, and works just fine. So anyway, I'm going to put this system in here. I'm going to document it, and you can see what I'm doing. So if you look in there, I have put the pouch, the battery pouch in there on the neck block. Tried to figure if maybe I wanted to put it on the bottom or on the top or whatever, but it seemed like the best place to put it for now, and that's where it's going to go. Now I've got to install the piezo, whatever you want to call it. I don't care how you pronounce it, you know what I'm talking about. In the bridge saddle area. And so what I need to do, what it's recommended to do, is to drill a little hole here, a little pocket for the tip to stick into, and then on the base end to drill an angle. Let me get the right angle. An angle about 45 degrees that away, so that you're not putting a extreme pinch on this. You could mess up the signal in it, so on and so forth. So my understanding is, I think that the black part points up. If not, I can always open it up and turn it over if I did it wrong. So, which is nice. So it's always scary to do any kind of drilling here, but you know, I'm gonna get my drill bit. It looks terribly big, but whenever you see, it's really not that big. So anyway, I'm not gonna hold a camera and drill at the same time, but that's how I'm gonna do this. Be right back and I'll show you the results. Now you see I have a little dinky little divot of a hole in there, and since this bridge is the pocket is so wide, I don't know that I needed to do that, so I just have just a little bit. I didn't feel like I needed to go any further than that. So I believe it's going to lay flat, clear across here. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I thought just a little bit of extra measure. Had this been something like my Taylor or whatever, I would have drilled probably, I don't know, a little more than an eighth, maybe 3/16 of an inch in, but I didn't. So, and this is not a Taylor. Now this is the scary one that I need to drill in here at about a 45-degree angle. Got to make sure that I reached inside there to make sure that I didn't have a brace that I was going to hit or anything. So I think it's not going to be I'm not going to be going through a whole lot of material to get that wire through there. I thought originally maybe I could squeeze that wire through the screw hole where the adjustable bridge screws went, or bolts, but no such luck. It's not that big, so I do have to drill this hole. I don't like it, but hey, it's not going through a lot of material, and I don't have a brace. I think the closest brace is over here, so I'm only going to be coming out to right about there, and should be safe. Actually, there's a brace that runs right here. Still, nowhere near there. That's where it's going to come out, on the other side. No catastrophe, it was just fine. Hardest part was threading this thing from inside to come out there. So, yeah. So there is that. Now it's just making sure that I'm going to take a little bit of tape and just hold it over here so that it doesn't move on me. So I have to thread that thing again was not fun. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but for real. I'm not gonna cry about it or anything. So, there is that. So they say this is about a 32nd of an inch thick, which means that the saddle's going to be raised up about a 32nd of an inch. What I am planning on doing is just going ahead and rolling with it and seeing how much that raises the action, if it drives me nuts, and if it does, then I'll go ahead and sand the bridge down about a 32nd of an inch. But otherwise, I'm just going to leave it. Now I get to put this guy in. It will go underneath the bridge, and then this one, since these bolts are sitting there, it's going to be really fairly easy to index it right underneath there. Sorry about the poor camera work, but underneath there, it's going to be sitting right between those two bolts that stick out there, and there I go, using the thingamajigger again. Yeah, so this is going to go in there. Just remove the 3M cover there so that the adhesive is there. And we should be good to go. Actually, what I should really do next is to drill the hole for the input jack. Now, what most folks would do is remove the end pin and drill a hole right there. I have been thinking about this long and hard and don't think that I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is leave the original pin here and drill another hole either down here or up here, and I'm gonna inspect the inside of the guitar to see what might be the best action to take. Because I thought originally that I would remove this and move it up to the neck heel and have a place to attach there, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave the original there, drill a new hole, and go with that. Although, then again, I start second guessing, and I don't know, let me look at my Taylor, see how that works, because I've used that for years. All right, so there's my Taylor's end pin input jack, and it doesn't look really any smaller. Oh, hey, focus. It doesn't look any smaller than the one that came with the LR Baggs system. And here's the one that came with the LR Baggs system. Looks about the same, so I'm just going to go with that. Going to remove the original, drill a hole, and go for it. Wish me luck, fellas and ladies. So now I've got the hole drilled. Let's see, I'm not getting let's get a good light. Got the hole drilled, and I am using this rod. Actually, it's a really long drill bit that I'm using here, but I'm using that. I'm poked it inside of the output jack to help guide it through there, because my arm isn't skinny enough or long enough or have two elbows that I could make that connection, that I could reach all the way over there to put the end pin in. So anyway, what I'm trying to do now is to estimate how much, let's focus, no, come on. All right, how much that end pin needs to stick out, or that basically the shaft or the bolt needs to stick out the end. And I'm thinking I'm getting kind of close, so I'm going to give that a shot. So you adjust, here, I'll show you in just a second. I'll back up. You adjust how far this nut goes, as well as this bushing here on the end, to allow for how much this needs to stick out the end. I'm thinking that there's a reason why they have this just like that. So I'm gonna work on this a little more. So I think that what they expect is that this whole narrower section sticks out the end 100%. So I'm gonna go with that. All right, that's the way I have it right now. I'm gonna get these guys, I'm gonna back that out and put these guys inside, because these need to go in the inside, and I've got one washer, a nut, and then the button end that's gonna go over that. Then I'll have this done. Now if you see, they put this handy dandy little hole there, And that'll come in really, like I said, handy in just a moment here. But I'm gonna slip the washer and nut over this shaft. You'll see that in just a second. I will say that thus far this has been the kind of the toughest part of the job. But I've got this snug, finger snug. So I'm gonna pull that shaft out of there and find something else here. See how that's wiggly? I'm gonna find something else to stick in that hole to hold things straight. An Allen wrench will probably work pretty well, and then I will tighten down that nut. So the drill bit actually passes completely through there. So I used that, and then I took my needle nose pliers and gently turned the nut, tightened the nut down on the shaft, and I think we're pretty good. I don't know that it has to be like super tight. I mean, it's not wanting to move all that much, so I'm really feeling good about where that is. Also, if you look really closely at this guitar, I mean, I'm not really too terribly concerned about marring up the finish. I mean, it's all checked and dinged, and it's well traveled, let's just say. But no cracks, no real cracks, just finishes. So it's just finished cracks. Checking, as they say. Anyway, on to the next step. All right, so they didn't come with little brackets to hold the wires up out of the way. I need to get better light in here so that you can see that. So I took some extra tape, and I'm not going to be able to get this to focus real well. I got extra tape in there, and I taped the wires to the side, which is actually the top whenever it's there. So then I'm going to plug everything in to the control center. I don't know what they call it, but they call it the control center. And then I'll plug all 4 units in there, then I'll mount that to the top. And that's our next step. So yeah, I've got it in there now. And that's what the profile, you should only see that. But you know, from the other angle you can see the controls. The wires are kind of tucked away in there. I may have to do a little more tidying up in there with the wires. So next is I'm gonna put a battery in there and check it out. Well, I found the hanging brackets for the wires. They were tucked inside the pouch. So look for them there. I was like, what in the world? So yeah, I may be going back and doing some more tidying up. Oh well, here we go.